expects it to be fat because there's a unit of energy in a building block. That's why fat is 9 calories a gram and carbs are 4 calories per gram.
Yeah.
Because fat is what you're supposed to eat. Carbs are not, but we're stuck on it, and it's just a thing. It's a fucked up thing in our culture. So we're learning. We've learned, but industry is built on it, and it takes time to change. So that's why you see like all the fat stuff at the Wawa and stuff. You see like a little cooler up front now, and it's like meat sticks and cheese and eggs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Was that good or bad?
That's good. That's what you're supposed to eat.
That's what I go for.
Yeah. That's what you're supposed to eat, but it's not. But now you see it changing. You see that coming. It's coming back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to eat, and then everything else is trash. Everything in the middle is trash. Like it's all garbage.
Yeah.
Don't eat that. But people don't understand. They've been eating carbs for a while, and then they just go to eating right, but they're still sick. They don't understand that. They need to, because you've gone this way, that much in this direction. You know what I'm saying? You have to resensitize. You do an extreme. You have to do a boot camp to resensitize your insulin response. So you have to restrict your carbohydrates to 20 or 30 grams a day for like 3 weeks, and then you're in ketosis all the time, and your body's like, okay, we have no choice but to just burn fat, and then it gets used to just burning fat again, and then that's when you get better. Until then, your body's gonna be like, oh, carbs are there. We're just gonna jump on that. And it's gonna wait for that. It's gonna wait for just carbs. It's easy burn. You don't need oxygen to burn a carbohydrate in your metabolism. Like oxygen, like mitochondria, right? It makes ATP, the energy that your body needs, in 2 ways, right? It makes it lipolysis and glycolysis. Glycolysis is like glucose, that's carb burning. Lipolysis is lipids, fat. It's fat burning, right? And so carb burning is anaerobic. You don't need oxygen to burn a carb at all. So it makes us sick. But you need a molecule of oxygen to burn a fat molecule, a ketone, because it needs to separate the fat from the building block. So when you eat fat, it's like your body's like, okay, here's some lumber, and then here's some gasoline. You know what I'm saying?
So is that why you said that you lost the weight and there was no cardio going on?
Yes.
Is that related to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all nutrition. You don't need cardio. You don't need. People are hurting them, killing themselves because they're doing cardio and then they're just eating carbs again, and then your body will burn the carbs first, right?
Yeah.
And then it'll burn fat second, because carbs are poisonous to you, right? So as long as you're eating the carbs, your body won't burn the fat because it's gonna prioritize what's poisonous to you. So when you eat carbs, you store it it stores in your body fat in your cells as glycogen, and then your body will use that first, and then it'll go to fat. You know what I'm saying? It does it both. It doesn't both at the same time, kind of, but it will always eat all the carbs first, then it will eat the fat. So you have to just restrict the carbs, totally restrict the carbs, because your body's forgotten how to just use fat. That's why, and then that's why localized fat deposits. That means you're sick, basically, and everyone's sick in a way, and everyone's different at metabolizing it. Black folks and their genetics are better at their body's better at tolerating that shit but they fall off sooner. They die at an earlier age when they're older. You know what I'm saying? But when they're young, they're very resilient to it. You know what I'm saying? And different cultures do it differently, have a different predisposition to it. You know, but so you just have to. So as long as you got. So me right now, I'm slipping. So I've got a little bit of the boobies, right, and I got a little bit of belly fat, right. I'm fucking up. I'm sick again, essentially.
You went to McDonald's last night, didn't you?
I've been eating bread and stuff like that. I'm using.
I did too when I was DoorDash and I got an ice cream cone.
Yeah. I'm using my surgery as the catalyst to go back to do that thing again, to do my resensitization, and then I'm going to get back on the horse. You know what I'm saying? But everyone's sick a little bit if they've got belly fat. Everyone's sick. They're sick. Yeah. And then the shitty part is,
I have more belly fat than I've ever had.
Yeah. So you're insulin resistant.
Past 2 years situation.
Yeah. So you're resistant to your insulin. Jail to you being stressed out does it to you. Being not having a routine and not having the information to begin with does it to you. You know what I'm saying? And
I have a routine now, but it's shitty. It's
very inactive. Yeah. So you just have to adopt the new thing. But even when people adopt the new thing, they know the information. They don't understand that they have to resensitize first. Then they can do the thing, you know what I'm saying? Then they can do a regular diet or a good diet, and then it works. You can switch to a good diet right now, and it's good. You'll get better slowly, and it sucks. You know, and people are doing it. They think that, and they don't get results, and then they quit. They don't understand that they have to do this thing first. They have to do this quick shot thing.
I try to make that my first thought, is that it won't be quick.
Yeah. No, it will be quick if you do the shock thing. You have to do the shock thing to so your body knows how to burn the fat again.
Shock in what way?
What I mean, the resensitization, which is the 3-week restriction, that relief, that thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So this proves it. This thing proves it. When back in the medieval times, when people had epilepsy, they thought they were possessed by the devil, right? Because they would have seizures, right? So they would throw them in the dungeon, or throw them in. They would lock them up.
Yeah.
And then they would get better, all right? Because they wouldn't eat, and they would fast, right? And when you're fasting, you burn up all your glycogen, your sugar stores, and then you start burning your fat, and then you have access to your energy again, and then your brain can work better, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why people with epileptic seizures and stuff like that, that's why the ketogenic diet became a thing. It's a ratio to treat epilepsy, right? Because it allows you to regain your access to all the energy in your body, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody has a different access to it, you know? So some people fall off faster than others, especially skinny bitches. And people skinny, smaller people have less of a gas tank. And then predisposition also affects it as well, your genetics and epigenetics and stuff like that. So, but everyone's the same essentially, originally, but now it's gotten to a point where different cultures fall off at different times.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So I figured it all out because I hit my head real hard when I was little, and now I have the capacity to figure it all out. I can conceptualize all of it. Now, so can everybody, if they really focus and really wrap their head around it and stuff. I did it a little bit easier because I hit my frontal lobe, because I hit my head real hard. So that part of my brain got more nutrients, because when you hit your head, which you did when you were young.
When you mentioned hitting your head before, I thought you were referring to like why you think, like, just out of the ordinary.
What do you mean out of the ordinary?
And well, I don't know. I mean, you're saying it now as it's like as it was as an improvement.
It is,
which is good. Right?
It is, but it was for me, and it probably was for you.
I never hit my head. Oh yeah.
When you were a kid, you definitely did. Everyone that fucks with me, everyone has had a traumatic brain injury slightly when they were young, in their formidable years, in your
Actually, I did.
in your developmental years. Yeah, that's why we